welcome to a new video of the Linkage. I am Arthur and Duke is already in bed. It's like 10 o'clock right now and Duke must go to school tomorrow, so the project we're gonna work on right now is my Suzuki DRZ 400. It's a dirt bike and I'm gonna make it ready for a holiday in Spain. Together with a couple of friends we're gonna do some Enduro riding and yeah, I want to do some modifications and a little bit of maintenance, so Duke is gonna help me tomorrow with it, but since he's in bed I want to take a head start on the project and yeah, let me take you over the bike and explain what I'm gonna do to it. This is my Suzuki DRZ 400S. I bought this bike like 2 years ago. Already did some modification on it. I made a tower on it. Here I can put my phone and it charges. I can turn the charger on and off, or the lights. There's a digital gauge on it. I mounted a different handlebar, park busters, a more modern headlight, also different shifter and some covers on it to protect when you can crash. Also here's some guards. Yeah, new chain and sprockets, but it's the model with a large carb on it. There's also an aftermarket exhaust on it. It looks stock, but that's not original. There's also been some modification to the spring in the back and also a rider in the front. It's in pretty good nick. It was imported in Holland in 2005, but I think it's a 2000 model. But it runs really good. Oh yeah. I also mounted a bash plate, because if you're riding in Spain there are a lot of rocks and you can easily crack your engine case, so this is the must-have. It's an older dirt bike, but I quite like it. It's a 4-stroke and it got lots of power. I also mounted a small bag on the rear with some hardware, but I think I'm gonna change that because there's too much weight in the back and when you're bumping around it's not that sturdy, so I already had one of the mounts on the frame break off. I have to weld it on the back again, so this is too heavy, so but there are lots of tools in it, so okay, I've got a new spring for the back, for the rear shock absorber. The one that's in it right now is not for my weight. It's a little too soft, so I get a sturdier one, and this is gonna make a huge difference in the handling. It's way too loose right now. I don't know if you see my number plate in the videos, but I folded it up quite a few times. When I jumped, the number plate is getting stuck on the rear tire and falls around. So hopefully with this, it's going to prevent that. I have some new foot pegs. The ones that are on it right now are the originals and they're quite rusty. So some new ones. Full service, oil filter, spark plug and a washable air filter. This is a clean one. The one that's in it right now is dirty. Coolant. I also have a clutch kit, clutch plates and the full, everything is in it. So this I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change the clutch plates, and I have seals for the front fork. They are leaking, and also new rubber boots, and some front fork oil. So it's not a really big job, but it's lots of smaller jobs. So I'm hopefully gonna do it in a couple of hours. I'm gonna take you with me. I'm not gonna film everything I do. I'm just gonna, in between jobs, gonna film some parts and do some time lapse. I hope you like it. I'm going to start with removing the rear shock, and after I've done that, I'm gonna take it to the workbench and replace the spring. I've got it. It was not easy, but I've got it. So let me show you what a part of the problem was. There is a bolt right here that wouldn't come out. It's loose, but it's pretty stuck in there, and I was planning on removing the spring from the underside of the bike, but I soon realized it would not come out of this hole because there is this thing on it. So what I did, let's go to the other side. The spring was here, so I just loosened up the subframe and also the rubber mount on the carb for the airbox. I shifted the subframe back and pulled the spring out. So that was the way to do it. Now it's on the workbench. I'm gonna remove the bottom part of the spring. First take off a little bit of the tension, move the bottom part, put on the new spring and try to put it back in the bike. But I also want to remove this stubborn bolt because I want to loop all the components for the suspension. So let's go to work. I have a little soapy water here on the workbench to clean off the parts because there's sand between everything. When I totally put back the preload, spring tension, the spring can go totally to the top. This is the top, and you can pull this ring down, and here's a clip, the one that I just taken off, and you can now slide this ring out of here and also the spring, but there's a lot of dirt between this, so let me clean it first. Should go easier. Let's find out. Everything is in good condition. I'm happy about it. It's an older bike, but hey. There it is. Let's compare it to the new spring. This spring is from Moose Racing. It's also red. There it is. Pretty much looks the same. Let me get some here we are. Old one. Let me get a measurement of the thickness of the springs. This one is 11.5 millimeters. 11.5 millimeters. This one is 12.5. So this one is 12.5 and this 11.5. So this is a much lighter spring because the coils material of the spring is thinner than this one. So this one is much stiffer and hopefully it's gonna make a big difference. I'm gonna put it back on the shock. First I'm gonna clean the shock and loop everything up, so next time I want to dismantle it, it's still all free and you can get it loose easily. And then I'm gonna remount the new spring, and I think tomorrow we're gonna put it back in the bike. I think I'm done for tonight if the spring is in the back in the shock. So let's go to work. I have some soapy water and a sponge. I'm using Dusty, but you can use a good cleaner. Just scrub it, remove all the debris, all the old grease before you put it back together. Okay, the spring is back in it. I looped everything up. Gonna loop it up before I put the stop. The stop is in here. Put some lubrication there. So if there comes any water in it, it repel it. So I'm tensioning up the spring right now for the right height. This is the tension for the right height. You can lower or higher your bike. This is the lock nut. I'm gonna do it up like I think I'm good with it. It was a little bit high for me. So this is the ultimate chance to make it a little lower and call it done. Okay, it's done. The spring is back in it and I adjusted the right height, and the rest I will adjust as soon as it's back in the bike. So tomorrow we're gonna put it back in and first clean all the rest of the components of the suspension, and that's it for tonight. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. Duke is with me. We're gonna try to take out the stubborn bolt and bolt in the rear shock again and go to the next job. Okay, I've got him. It's out. The bolt is totally normal. A little bit of damage, but nothing too serious. And what are you doing?
Getting the foot pedals off.
Getting the foot pegs off. So he's almost done with it. I'm gonna clean all the parts and start reassembling the rear suspension. Okay. New developments. Duke mounted the foot pegs. Very good.
Thank you.
And I started to clean the. I'm gonna put you down. How do you call it? It's a section of the spring where the spring connects to the swing arm. And there is bushing inside of it, and in this bushing it's a little bit rusty and a little bit pitted, but there is also a crack from here to here all the way through. It's also on the inside, so this thick bush, like 3-4 millimeters, is cracked all the way. And also there are needle bearings in here, totally gone. So that was the swing arm. That was swing arm work for tonight. So for now this gonna stay that way. I'm gonna strap down the bike and concentrate my efforts to the front fork, because I want to replace the seals. So I already ordered the parts, so let's continue. Okay, the bike is locked down. Let's take the front wheel out, take the both fork legs out and take them to the workbench and start rebuilding them. I don't know if I said it, but the reason I'm replacing the seals is because it's leaking. See, it's pretty wet here, and there are also some cracks in the rubber. Okay, the shocks are out, the front suspension, this other one is on the lift. I'm gonna take these apart, replace the seals, replace the sleeves, and hopefully everything is fine. Yeah, let's go to work. The front fork is all apart. Let me think. The right side of the bike was pretty stuck. As you've seen, the inner leg was pretty stuck inside the front fork. The lower part, I don't know if you can see it, but the inner bushings are pretty much gone. So I have new seals, but not the sliders, so I'm gonna order them too. So right now I'm on a hold. I'm gonna clean all the parts that are on the workbench, clean off my tools, and call it a day. So see you next time, see you next day. Probably when I get in the parts, but should be this weekend. It's now like Wednesday, so the bike is on the lift. Done for today. Okay, I'm back. It's a new day. I've been to the hairdresser, and yeah, let's get on with the DRZ again. I cleaned out the front forks, all debris, everything is clean to be reinstalled, but I'm still waiting on parts, so I can't continue with that, but I can go further with the linkage for the rear suspension. As you see, I hope you can see, all the bearings are out of it. Only one side has some bearings left in it. Oh, get it in camera. The rest is in here, and there is a cage on the bearings that was all gone, and when I removed the linkage, all the bearings were loose in it, and some are pretty rusty, some are just loose in it, and all the seals are gone. So I ordered a complete kit, all new bearings, seals, bushes, everything is in it. So it's this kit. But first I have to remove the old bearings, and I also decided to get a kit with bearings for the swing arm. So my plan is to also remove the swing arm and replace the bearings there. So this is the kit for the rear swing arm. I have to remove the whole swing arm, so I probably have to remove the wheel, brake caliper, chain. Just, I don't know in which condition it is, but if I looked at the linkage, I probably think that it's gonna be bad too. So I'm there, so it's a little bit more work to do it. So yeah. Just let's start to begin to work. First I'm gonna do the linkage, so let's see how it goes. It was a little bit of trial and error, but I got the first one out. The way I did it is, I have a punch, and on the other side, I hope you can see it, there's a lip in it, and when I'm hammering against it, it just came out. So Okay. The first one came out pretty easily with a punch. A little bigger than this, but I don't know where the other one is. These were stuck. So I just tried it with the vise, just loose on the workbench. That's not ideal. The vise should be screwed to something tight, so there it is. Oh. So the other one I pushed out. I have a smaller socket and a large socket. This bearing race is gonna fit in here, and this small socket is gonna push against. Hope you can see it. I did it this way. So what I did is I put the small socket here, the big one here, and just pushed the bearing out. So they are out now. When the vise is mounted on the workbench, you can put a lot more pressure on it. So it's clean. I sanded it, I degreased it, so no, it's pretty smooth. So I'm gonna try to press in with also the vise the new bearings, and let's see if that will work. Put a rack between it because I want to protect the socket. It's pretty rough vise, so let's put in this one first. I think I'm gonna give it a start with a hammer. Put it in straight. Oh, well, that didn't work. Let's try it this way. You can see it. Nope. Don't put a lot of pressure on it because the rags keep getting stuck in the vise. Okay. Not a lot of pressure. Not bad. It is, must be going in further because there is also going to be a seal in here. I'm gonna get the seal and push it in even further and check if the seal can go in here, then it's the right position. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Pushing in the seal. So, first one in. I'm gonna do the other ones off camera and get back to you. It's done. All new seals, all new bearings, new bushings, fresh grease. This is ready to go back. I also cleaned all the linkages and axles. So this is ready. These are the old parts. Pretty disgusting. Okay, now I have this kit. This is called, what is it exactly it's called, does it called? Swingarm bearing kit. I just read it. It says Swingarm bearing kit Yamaha DT X 125 Enduro. Okay, I ordered the right bearings. The website I ordered it says the order number is the right one for my bike, but I'm not sure. And only if I search the number of the supplier, of the fabricator, it goes only on the Yamaha DT 125. So just gonna do the work and find out if it fits. If it doesn't fit and the bearings are broken, I need to order new parts, and this doesn't fit. If it fits, I could go on, and I'm gonna put you on time lapse because it's kind of boring work, but you probably want to see it. So let's crack on. Okay, that went pretty easy. Was not expecting that. I'm gonna show you. Flip the camera. It's pretty gross, and the shaft is, it's still greasy, but it's a little bit rusty. And in here, could be a whole lot worse. So let's take it to the workbench. And oh, almost knocked over the coffee. And clean it and take the washers off, the bushings out, and let's check the condition. A little bit of rust, but nothing too bad. It will clean up nice. Ah. Okay. Close the window. Of course, there is a bearing also here. So I thought this was extra parts for another bike, but these are for here. So at least I can change them. The swing arm is going here, and these are connected. So I'm gonna change these bearings, but these are the ones I'm interested in now. Let's take some dirt off and with a wire brush. I'll do the rack under it. So much better. And let's see if I can get that pushing out. Huh. That's one. Oop. They are dirty, but nothing. I think this one is coming out this way. Oh. Okay, that kit definitely ain't gonna work. I'm pretty sure of that. But I'm gonna degrease it because it's very dirty right now. But I think we're gonna be okay because the bearings seem to be intact. The bushes are old grease, but seals, they are not new, but they hold in the grease because it's very greasy in here. No moisture. Yeah. I'm gonna take it all apart, and this one I'm gonna change. But I think we're fine here. But let me dismantle this and come back. there is a socket here with an extension, and this is a large socket that the bearing can push into, and this extension is pushing against a socket that pushes against the bearing. So when I tighten the vise, it pushes the bearing out. It's out. So the bearings are out of here. Like I said, on the other clip, I pushed this socket with the extension against the bearing. Here is the swing arm. The bearing is still in the swing arm, and I'm pushing it with the vise, clamping it. It's clamped like this way, and you push the bearing out into the socket. And then you have the socket of the bearing out. I'm gonna push it in the new bearings the same way. The socket is here. I'm gonna push, and I don't need this one because the bearing is going in it, and pushing them back in, and they are in pretty good condition. So there was no need to replace them, but I have them, so why not? What I don't have is the pivot bearings. I degreased everything. They are still in great condition. So I'm gonna reuse them because I haven't got the time to wait. In about like 9 days I'm gonna leave for off-road grid, and still gotta do the front and clutch, and I have to do some other maintenance things. So this is good for now. I'm gonna grease everything up and clean all the bushings, and they are in the tub right now soaking. Grease is already coming off. So I'm gonna put the bearings back in it, clean everything, put grease in it, put everything back together, and okay, it's ready to go back. After everything is looped up, you have this nipples that you can put grease in. I'm gonna do that later. I manually put grease in here. So I cleaned the axles. Everything is smooth, so I checked for cracks in the swing arm. Everything looks fine, so I'm gonna put it back, and finally I'm gonna put back the rear spring, because that is where this began. So I think it's gonna go smooth. Everything is loose and greased and not rusty anymore, so let's go to work. Okay, the rear shock is back in place. I have to connect everything else because the subframe is loose, the airbox is disconnected, and I have the rear brakes to remount and do the change engine because, yeah, I'm gonna loop the chain, but the main part is done. The rear shock is back in it and yeah, partially refurbished. So hopefully today I'm gonna finish the rear so that I can check that off my list and go on to the next thing, because yeah, still got like 8 days, so not much time, but I'm convinced that it's gonna be okay. So okay, dinner is done. Let's continue. Duke is also in the shed. He's busy with his RC car. He just mounted a bigger engine.
Yeah, with a piece of wood on a here. The normally is engine block that's less than 1.5 cc.
Yeah, this is
and this is 3.5 from this RC car right here. It's taken apart in the box. I'm gonna clean it and put it back together.
This is also a new addition to the shed. We have some storage space. Okay. I'm gonna continue on this thing. Mount the subframe. So let's start. Okay, now the swing arm is fully back in, spring is in, chain is on there, tension is set. Also, caliper is back on, exhaust is back on. Here you see the new spring. I think I'm gonna end this video here. It's already taken quite a long time. Of course, we did a lot of work, but changed all the bearings, all the bushes, new rear spring. That was more work than I thought. I thought just replace the rear spring and be done with it, but hey, that's something now. Sometimes how it goes. So I'm gonna end this video here. As I said, subscribe. If we hit 1,000 followers, we're gonna give away the beta toolbox. So we are now at almost 500, I think. So halfway there. I'm gonna continue on the DRZ, do a little service, changing the oil, air filter, and so on. Still waiting on front suspension parts. I want some new bushes. They are questionable. One is questionable. The rest is okay, but I ordered the whole set, and but the supplier. Sometimes you just have to wait. But I have now 7 days left before my holiday, so I'm in a little bit of a hurry. So I'm gonna continue wrenching tonight, but for now I end this video, and see you next.